my teams, right? And it's one of the most hated teams for you, right? And you're real quick to let us know, and let me know when the New York Yankees get eliminated from the playoffs, or when they lose to a certain Boston Red Sox. So, the last 3 days were not good days, for you. And
Well, the last two,
the
the
last two
last
days,
two,
yeah,
the
did
last
win the
2 days,
first game.
they
And
did.
it's not like I'm trying to kick a man while he's down, but
I wouldn't put that past you, Tom.
but you know what? Let's go Yankees, baby. And it's good to see that the Red Sox, Red Sox fans got a little bit humbled, and like you said, yeah, they were playing with house money, but a rivalry is a rivalry. And
Hey,
I will take this win. I will embrace it, and we'll move on. And we stop the little streak, the little I guess the drought of beating the Boston Red Sox in the playoffs, 21 years since 2003. So, and on top of that, Mr. Shelton says the Raiders got Tootsie as their quarterback. So, it's not looking good in
man.
football as well.
I mean, oh man, with the Raiders, I've become so numb. But at this point, it's just a bad marriage. At this point, I'm already old. I've wasted my youth. Who wants me? You know, just gotta ride it out. Not that I'm in one. I'm just, I've heard of those bad marriages like that. You know what I'm talking about.
Somewhat, somewhat, you know. Oh man, damn man, it's not looking good for you. And I
No,
feel bad a little bit, but I can't even talk bad because the Niners, they got a big win yesterday, and that's his team. So and they owned the
a lot of
Rams.
heart. Listen, a lot
Yeah,
of heart. A lot of heart. My full props to the Niners. That IR list that they threw up the day the day of the game. I mean, you lost Boza, you lost your starting QB, you lost both wide receivers, and then Bourne comes out of nowhere like an RKO and has a monster game.
like
Has
an
a
Hey, but
AO.
you got to think about it. That was his quarterback. I mean, they both was at New England together. So maybe Matt Jones was used to throwing the ball. That's why he started going to him a lot more this game.
that's good. That's a good job by you, D. I didn't even realize that. You're right. Mac Jones looked really good in that system. And you got to. I'm sure some people in San Francisco are second guessing if Mac wins again. Do you just? He's got some mojo going. And Brock. It sounded like Purdy was lighting it up. So
Mac
Yeah.
Jones looks
Hey.
Mac Jones looks special out there. I'm
he
just being
does.
Hey.
honest. He looking special right now, and it's crazy
Mhm.
because when he was over at New England, even though he did have Bourne over there, he ain't look nearly the way. And I give a lot of credit to their head coach Shanahan. I think
Yes,
Kyle Shanahan, bro, he a great coach. You know what I'm saying? And
he's a
we're
very
seeing
good
it
play
from the
caller.
play. Go ahead.
He's a great play caller. He's a,
Absolutely.
great play caller.
And
And
but we're seeing it. We're seeing it live in real time. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
There are times where these guys they get out there, and when you lose one of your best guys, and they done lost all their best guys. Respectfully to the 49ers, they done lost all their best guys,
Hmm.
and you still able to find a way to grind out a win like they did against the Rams. Man, that's special right there. So shout out to Shanahan, man.
Yeah,
Yo, you know
and
what? I
Yeah.
mean, I know you guys are being nice and really nice, but fuck the Niners, bro. Seriously. Come
oh
on, man. Enough of the
oh
Niner
All,
talk.
all I'm
I'm
gonna
sorry,
say
I'm
is
sorry to
Brock
drop the
Purdy.
F-bomb.
Brock Purdy
You know
better
I
be
can't
looking up.
stand the 49ers. You know what? Everything you guys saying, it's been great and it's true. And, much props to the 49ers, but come on. Let's stop the praise of the team that I can't stand the most. Shelton, congratulations on the big win. You guys in first place. All good. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Shout out to my man Johnny Boy,
Hey,
boxing in the building, coming through saying what's up. Salute my man Johnny Boy. But let's go. Let's talk a little boxing first. Welcome to the panel, Marky Dan and BVO. We're gonna get into some boxing. I want to have a good discussion here. Let's try not to cut over each other. It's a bunch of us, but I wanted to bring up whatever was on everybody's mind. But we're gonna lead off with this Zuffa boxing with Dana White. I wanna really get into the weeds of this and discuss this and see what everybody's thinking. Shout out to my man PYP Boxing was good. Salute. And yes, Mr. Shelton, I'm mad. Yeah, I'm mad, and I openly admit that. You've been making me laugh all night. You trying to make me break character, and you finally made me break character. This guy was trying to make me break character in Rich Mancuso's show. So you know what? Enough of the Niner talk. Let's get into it. Let's go into I want to get into the weeds of the Zuffa Boxing League. I want opinions. I want to know what you guys think of. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it a mixture? What we're gonna do? I mean, I'm gonna, since Marky Dan and BVO were the last to come up, I'm gonna let one of them play lead off, Ricky Henderson style, and start this off.
Well, salute to the panel. Salute to Chop Cheese, Tommy, my guy, everybody up here, Dub, right side, D Frilio, BVO, the brother in the corner. That's my bro Socrates. Salute to him as well, the Dominican. I mean, I like it. Zuffa Boxing. I mean, wait. So are the Fertitta brothers involved?
I don't think so. I think this is. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I think this is all Dana White with, I guess, a little bit backing from Turkey, but I don't think Turkey's really backing it as much as people think. So I don't know. That's a good question. I honestly don't know. I don't know if anybody up here knows.
Well, I'm interested to see what happens. I know Turkey and Dana White are doing business because of their relationship with TKO Holding Groups. But so I don't know. Like I'm just intrigued to see what happens. I really don't know what to make of it.
Okay. BVO, you are there? You asleep? You awake? How you doing, BVO? Are you there?
What's up, nigga?
That's the greatest intro in the history of this channel, I think.
Hey, man. Shout out my African brother, Sock, man. Shout out my man, Right Side. And of course, man, Puerto Rican Free, man. And shout out to my man, West Indian Mark. I think Zuffa is just another...
Tommy, my bad for cutting you off, BVO. I'm looking at it right now. So it doesn't have nothing to do with the Fertittas. It is a joint venture between Salah, which is a Saudi-based investment group, and TKO Holdings. And it's being and Turkey is the overseer for the Saudi side of it.
Johnny boy, I'm gonna be in Brooklyn, man, for the what's left of Danny, man. We're gonna see what's left of Danny. So hopefully you in the house, man. My man Keith Cologne hooked me up, man. So we gonna see what's going on, man.
Shout out to my man Johnny Boy Boxing with the 20 piece. I appreciate you, Johnny Boy. That's my guy. He does media with Fight Hype. Go check out Johnny Boy Boxing and Fight Hype, and go check out his channel as well. He says he's got Vito Milnecki tomorrow to ask about him joining Zuffa Boxing, and that's good. That's good. Well, we're gonna go talk about the two. He's one of two fighters or two name fighters that have already joined this league. The other one is Kalen Walsh. I believe those are the two fighters that I know right now with that has a name, right, that's joined the league. But appreciate you, Johnny Boy. Much love to you. And let's go back to BVO. BVO, you was gonna cook on this for a minute after you was doing your racial what is
identifications,
introductions. Yeah.
yeah. Let me talk, nigga. But to me, this remind me of like back. You guys remember when Trump had his own university? This was Zuffa Boxing reminds me of. It reminds me of when Trump had his own university. It's it's another.
How many credits you got there?
Huh?
How many credits you took when? Because you kind of said that like you was like an alumni.
Motherfucker, can you read?
I'm asking you a question.
I'm asking you, can you read? Can you read, motherfucker? It's a question,
man.
I mean, I think so. I've been doing this since kindergarten, but go ahead.
Go get me a beer. Sit down. I'm trying to talk, old man.
You out of order, man.
Hold on, Doug. You don't want none, man. Stay out of it.
There's a lot of.
I ain't cut him off.
You keep cutting me off.
BVO, go ahead, BVO. Let's talk about the Trump University.
Yeah.
No. But no, I just think anybody that was signed to this is an idiot. This is not going to work. Dana White has been trying to be in boxing for 20 years. So you want to tell me after 20 years of doing this now with no Fertittas, because let's be honest, the Fertittas are the reason why UFC did so well, not because of Dana White. I know people like to play this stupid game as if the Fertitas won some of the best owners in combat history. They really were. But I just think it's another crapshoot, and it's gonna feel like everything else Dana White does when it came to boxing.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's shift over. Let's go
Everything
to the
else.
opposite side of BVO. Let's go up top to my man Sarkis Palmer, who's been covering the sport for about 20 plus years. What do you think about this Zuffa Boxing TKO League, or not sure what it's called? They say Zuffa Boxing. I thought it was going to be TKO League, but what do you think of it?
I didn't know that it was officially called Zuffa. Look, I'm so down on the sport of boxing at this moment that I'm actually willing to give it a fair shot, because the one thing you can see is they have money behind it, and they have the most important thing. And when it comes to boxing promotions, they're going to have television. They're going to have a streaming platform. So I'm willing to give it a shot. The one thing, look, you could disagree with Dana White on a lot of things, but he does know how to run a business. He's got that UFC plantation rolling. It's a brand, and the fighters are just, part of the machine. It's very rare that, like, you have to stand out to be a superstar. So I think he's going to use the same business model. That's the same way like the NFL. It's about selling the logo, the shield, right? In the NFL.
Yep.
And that's Dana White's philosophy. Fighters are interchangeable. The atmosphere is going to be like a party atmosphere, like the way it is at a UFC event. And you're going to hopefully see fighters be active, because you have fighters that, the quote unquote stars of the sport that fight twice a year, which is a joke. So I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go to my man Dub Right Side, man. Dub Right Side, is this TKO League out of order or Zuffa Boxing?
I don't know yet. And the reason I can't say is because I want to see. They're talking about they have 400 guys that's going to be signed up for the fight. I want to see who these guys are. And the reason I say it that way is because they're already talking about only recognizing the Zuffa belt and the Ring Magazine belt, right? Well, we don't. The other sanctioning bodies, that this is how we recognize champions at this current moment in time in the sport of boxing. And so when you're talking about doing something like that, clearly you're not going to have those guys in the league like that. So what's interesting to me is seeing how it plays out and who those guys are, those 400 guys. And I think it really comes down to, yeah, you kind of structure it like you would the UFC. You know what I'm saying? The good thing, in my opinion, when we watch the UFC, you take an L in the UFC, you can still be great. You know what I'm saying? You can still be champion. You still have opportunities. Whereas in boxing, it's a tad bit different. But my whole thing with it is that I want to see exactly how it plays out. And then when you have those guys, because as shout out to Macho Man Randy Savage, as he would always tell you, the cream gonna rise to the top. And so when the cream rise to the top, do they end up fighting the top guys? I don't think they're gonna have top guys in that league. So when the cream does rise to the top, do those top guys get fights with the top guys in the different sanctioning bodies? I'm very interested to see how it plays out.
Okay. Okay. Somebody dropped off. Who dropped off? Oh, Marky dropped off.
Marky Dan
Okay.
did.
Want
Shout
to
out to
make
my
sure I
brother.
see him. Okay. I'll shift over to my man D Free, bat and clean up. What do you think?
Um, yeah, I'm like Dub. I want to know who these boxers are, because they're going to be competing with the boxing industry. So they trying to create their own league. Well, majority of the fans, they know about the actual boxing league and they know about these boxers. Now you're trying to compete with them. What guys are you going to bring over there that's going to compete with the sport of boxing? So it's going to be very nick and pick in the first year. We're going to see if they can make it through the first year, because yeah, they got money backing them, but if nobody's paying attention to it, how long is they going to have the money that's going to back them? Is Turkey going to say, you know what, this ain't really doing anything? I thought it was going to be something a little different, and nobody's really paying attention. So let me put my money elsewhere, because I mean that's what Turkey does. If it's not, if it seems like it's not working, he take his money and he go elsewhere and try something else. So I don't know how long it's going to be around, because, like I said, they're trying to compete with the sport of boxing, and they creating its own league. But if you don't have the superstars where majority of the casual fans know about, how are you going to compete with the sport of boxing?
Okay. I like what everybody's saying. I think everybody's saying the right thing. I think BVO's probably the only one that's probably really strong against it. Um, and he could correct me if I'm wrong after I speak real quick, but I'm in between, but I'm kind of in favor of what everybody's been saying here. And I like the way Sock said, give it a shot. We all know, but you notice he used the words the UFC plantation. I don't know if anybody caught that. So we all know what Dana White has been doing with, as far as the pay with these UFC fighters. As far as like the percentage of the money that goes to the fighters in comparison to what they're making off the gate, it's really ridiculous. I think in this Zuffa TKO league, whatever they want to call it, I don't think you're going to see that right away, right? Because I think for the most part it seems to me that this is going to be a good thing for fighters that are not signed with big promoters, right? It's going to be like those guys that are maybe with those low end promoters that don't really have the power like a Eddie Hearn, or the power of a Tom Brown, and the power of maybe, I'm saying Bob Arum, or Oscar,
Oscar.
I'm saying, Oscar De La Hoya. They don't have the power, so it's going to be like for fighters maybe there, and those and other fighters that not already signed with those promoters, like um I think that's what it's going to be good for. But the only problem with that is that it's a gamble for them as fighters, because they're going to get matched pretty well. They're going to get matched tough, because they're going to fight other guys like that, and it's going to be hard to gauge, who's good, who's not, and then not sure how they're going to do the ranking system, and I'm sure they're going to do it according to like the UFC is done, right? So my only problem is, and I don't know who brought this up. It might have been D Free, is that when these guys do eventually grow and become their champion, and they start doing these big events, are they going to get paid what they deserve? Are they going to get paid a fair percentage of what the gate is making, or whatever revenue they're making off of these TV deals? That's the only problem, and I feel like that's where the loopholes of this bill is they're proposing, right? So like I'm reading here, like I have it here. I don't know why my camera's not working on this laptop. I should have used the other laptop. I have the bill here. I printed it out. I've been looking through it. I like the fact it's going to provide some sort of health insurance, which I'm not sure if fighters are getting health insurance now. You hear about these fighters after they retire. There's no pension. These fighters, they risk their lives in the ring, and they don't really have any money afterwards. I feel it looks like, from what I've been reading, that this will provide some sort of pension, some sort of health care as well. I do see something as a minimum of like $150 per round, right? And it doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm going to tell you this: for fighters that I know, that Sock know, and that we've met, when these fighters are fighting like 6 rounders, they're not making maybe more than 5K or maybe 6K. Like that could be like, and that might even be too much, right? So you figure 150, a round. No, that's still wrong. My math is terrible. 150 times 10, that's only 1150. So, yeah, that's the only thing I'm not too sure about. I'm thinking in my head it was more, but no, it's not.
But
So
but the difference is, TD, and I don't mean to cut you off,
no,
but
that's fine.
when at least they have kind of a pay scale of what fighters are going to make, right? And I don't think any of these guys are going to be the top level guys. You know what I'm saying? And because they're not going to be the top level guys, like I said this earlier, well, on another show, but there are times where I listen to guys and been in the rooms when they negotiating, and if you ain't making weight, they talking about $500. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, pay me $500, and and we'll make the fight happen anyways. The reason being is because a lot of these guys, they're not getting paid like that. I think this is an avenue for the average fighters, not the top name guys, but the average guys, the guys that we don't really hear too much about, for them to have the opportunity to be on a larger promotion and get paid more money. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very. I think it definitely helps the sport because hell, I'm a boxing fan. I love watching boxing. You know what I'm saying? So I think we get more fights there. At the same time, it does also give you or avenue to build your name, fight some of the guys that we may not know. But if you can come out and be the number one guy, then that can put you on the playing field of some of these top level fighters. It gives you that opportunity. So I think it's a good thing because I mean, at the end of the day, shit, Nick, people ain't getting paid in the sport of boxing. They're not getting paid what people think they're getting paid. They're not getting paid like that. So with you having a pay scale, it allows you to build your name and your resume, those type of things, to become what you want to be, in my opinion.
I agree with that, and I think it helps fighters that are not getting fights and are struggling. It gives them some sort of salary throughout the year. It's supposed to keep them active as well, so they got some sort of basic income based off the contract that you sign. My problem is that what I want to know, and where I see maybe some of the loopholes of this bill is that, let's say Sock, right? Sock is a great conditioning coach out here in the Bronx, New York. But let's say Sock wants to be a fighter, right? And Sock turns pro, right? And he knows some people. He's got a few fights. He's 3-0, 3 knockouts, but he's struggling. He's struggling to get a fight. The TKO or Zuf or whatever come to Sock and they say, "Yo, we got a contract for you. Well, here's a 2-year deal. We need you to fight. You can only fight at 150, 154, right? So now you fight at 154 contract, whatever the case. We want you to compete at this weight." So let's say he fights 6 times in the next 2 years. Now he's 9-0 with 8 KOs, whatever the case may be. Now, whatever he signed, right? Let's say out of those 6 fights, because I got to imagine, like when they start this, they got to somehow gauge to figure out who's their champion going to be. So let's say Sock 9-0, he's their champ at 154, right? What happens now that he's the guy, right? And then they got this up and coming guy, in the league as well. Maybe they want to bring him up from 147. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. And now this is a major fight because now we seen Sock 6 times in the TV in this league, and everybody likes this guy. And then we see this other guy, D3, come out of nowhere. Now this is a big major fight. It's going to provide big revenue, whatever, and they make tons of money. But yet, are they going to be stuck with what they signed in the contract? You know what I'm saying? Like how does that work? Like I feel like that's where they get these fighters in the UFC.
Well, I don't think. Well, in the UFC, there are fighters that do have separate that have management. So they have managers. So that's, I think, where your manager is going to come into play. That scenario that you painted out hypothetically is definitely how they're going to do it. They're going to build their own. Caleb Walsh, right? He's he's already promoted with Tom Loeffler, who's a veteran, right? So, like you said, it's going to provide a platform for some of the, lesser promoters, like a Tom Loeffler, maybe like just to say because I know him, a Joe DeGuardia, like those type of guys, and it's going to really ask. Okay, so if I ask, part of the intrigue of UFC is that when you sit down, you watch a whole fight, a whole card, it's competitive, right? And the guy, even the guy that's the B side, still has a chance. And I think that's part of the intrigue of UFC. And they're going to do that same type of formula. I don't think there's going to be, lopsided matchups, even when they're trying to build up their stars. Caleb Walsh, he's got the complexion that Dana White likes to promote, right? The biggest stars in UFC are white. They've always been. That he's gonna tap into that market of the white fan that has gone away from boxing. Okay, so it's calculated. He's got the TV. Who's the other guy? The Manek, you said?
Malecki
don't.
from New Jersey.
Okay, and he's a done deal.
That's as far as I know. Johnny Boy's going to interview tomorrow, but that's what I saw a few
Hmm.
days ago that he dropped. He's not with Top Rank and he dropped him. And that's another thing you put out
Well,
like with Tom.
he's
Loeffler.
also. Well, I'm sorry. He's also promoted by Cornflake Lamana, the fighter.
Oh, yeah, he's done a show with them.
Hmm.
You know, they kind of like merged. But what I'm saying is like I think, and that's the whole point. Like with the Muhammad Ali Act and people talking about the Muhammad Ali Act compared to this bill, I think the purpose of this bill is that they can't work with a promoter. So I don't think like Kanan Walsh is with Tom Loeffler, but let's face it, we know this because we spoke about this like 3 years ago that was Dana White's guy the whole time, even though he was under Tom Loeffler's banner, but they were fighting on the UFC Fight Pass or Fight Zone, whatever you want to call it. That was really Dana White's fighter. So what I think is that Kanan Walsh is in this league. He's no longer under Tom Loeffler. I think that's the whole purpose of this bill, that they can't be with any other promoter, that they're under this banner and they're promoted by them.
Hmm.
Well,
And
I'll
then
say
here's
this, man.
question.
The
Let me
thing
before
that's so
you
sad about all this.
real quick. Here, question, and somebody could top it. I don't know if it's true or not, but Shelton Moore says 750,000 for championship fights as the pay scale. Is that correct? I'm not sure, but I don't know if anybody else can confirm or not confirm that.
I
No,
believe that's correct.
yeah, that's correct. That's correct. That's the most that you can make.
I believe they put out a pay scale already. Turkey and Dana White, they kind of put out a pay scale as far as what these guys would be making, depending on what level they're at. So I do believe that 750. I believe that's the highest you're going to make as far as championship fights go. But we also have to go back into that's only for the Zoom or the Zunfa, however you say it, the Zunfa belt and the Ring Magazine belt, because I believe they're not going to recognize any of these other sanctioned bodies. But it does give that individual opportunity to go fight on even with higher level. You know what I'm saying? Fighting on other pay-per-views or other promotional companies. Let me put it that way, against the actual champions and the sanctioning bodies. So, and if you get those opportunities, then hell, you may have a chance to make $1 million for that fight. You know what I'm saying? If you're that guy. So I think it gives people opportunities.
I mean, it's kind of what PBC was doing, unofficially.
See, I don't think
when they first started.
I don't think these guys are going to be fighting with other promotional companies. That was the thing about Dana White. He said he don't want to deal with none of those other promotional companies. I think once they're part of this league, they're going to be fighting only the people that's in this league. They're not going to be fighting with PBC fighters, with Golden Boy fighters, Matchroom fighters, and Top Rank fighters. They're only going to be fighting the fighters that's in this league. I think that's what the thing is. I think we're thinking that they're going to be able to go outside, but the way Dana White said it is, he don't want to deal with none of them. He only wants to deal with the guys that's working inside of this umbrella, which is this league that they're creating.
Mm.
So I don't think these guys are going to be going outside of that.
You could be very right about that, and if you are, then hell, I'm gonna sit here and be like, "For you told me this from the beginning." My only thing is I do think that having Turkey somewhat supporting this league, we see Turkey. He willing to put on the big cards. I think this is kind of an avenue. The way I kind of look at it, I look at it as the what's the smaller league, not the NBA, but the my God, what's it called?
The G League.
It used to be called the G League. I don't think it's called the G League now, but it's a way to propel you to that next level, and that's what I would think that this would be, kind of like Pro Box is. We watched Najee Harris. He just went on, put on a fantastic show on Pro Box, right? Stopped this guy. I believe it was second round, something like that. Second round, somewhere in there. Before that fight actually took place, we were hearing about there being an opportunity for Najee Harris to fight on a Turkey card against Beterbiev. So I think you can. I think it can kind of be a stepping stool into the upper echelon, because you're still gonna have Turkey doing what Turkey do. With Turkey supporting it the way he is, I kind of look at it as this is the G League, this is the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that. I could be very wrong about
I think,
that.
I think, I
Because
think,
what I was
yeah.
gonna say, what I was gonna say. So, if let's say Vito is the champion. He's the champion of whatever weight class he's fighting at. Let's say he's fighting at 160. And he's the champion at 160. He has the Ring Magazine belt, and he has their whatever their belt is going to be called. If he moves over and fights somebody from PBC, is that belt going to be on the line, or are they going to say, okay, you're going to be fighting, you're going to fight over there, but you're not fighting with our belt?
I don't think
so. That's the saying. I think, I'm sorry to cut you off. I think what you said before, D Free, is accurate, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think they want to deal with any of the promoters, and of course, we didn't mention this. I don't think anybody's mentioned it. They don't want to deal with any of the sanctions bodies. And like Dub was saying, also, Dub, you was right. I think it's going to be a separate entity. It's going to be a separate league. It's going to be their own entity, their own champion, their own rankings, their own belts. Whereas they can't fight other guys unless they're under the umbrella of this league. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a mixture. Both of you are right, but that's the whole point. They don't want to deal with any other the promoters, right? And they don't want to deal with the sanctioning bodies.
But the problem with that, TD, is at some point in time, because I don't think any of the any of the champions today, I don't think they're signing to that, just signing strictly with Zuffa, right? And because I don't believe that, and maybe I'm wrong. Once again, if I'm wrong about it, y'all criticize me when it's time. I have no problem with it, and I take that on the chin. I just think that it's ways, because even with Pro Box, right? Pro Box is kind of it's still, you know, it deal with the sanctioning body, those type of things, but kind of a league of its own. This is a true league of its own, and because they're working with Turkey the way that Dana is working with Turkey, Turkey is going to continue to put on those top level fights. In my opinion,
No, he's not.
I could be wrong about it.
I think
No.
this is going to be they're going to be in their own little universe,
Yes.
you know, and that's what it's basically going to be. And you know, and I don't think that Dana White's going to just look at his league as a G League. No, he's going to publicize that this is real boxing. This is boxing that we grew up on. He's going to hearken on all the negativity that has turned away a lot of fight fans. Boxing is not what it once was, and I'm not saying anything new. Boxing used to have a daily beat writer in the Daily News. That doesn't exist anymore in New York. Okay, so what has turned people off? Bad decisions, corruption, the alphabet soup of the sanctioning bodies, like they used to call it. All that stuff. He's gonna. That's the narrative, and that's how he's gonna promote his league.
So this is the question I have to ask you then.
Mm-hmm.
Because we still understand who the top guys are in the sport. The top guys are not, in my opinion, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, the top guys are not signing up for this league.
No.
Right? And so he can, if that's what he wants to do, then it will never be a time where the guys in his league are looked at as the top guys if they're not going and fighting the top guys.
Well, not initially,
not initially.
Not initially, but when they start, if it succeeds, let's say a year. I don't mean to cut you off, but don't you think they're definitely going to tap into the amateur market, the top Olympians eventually?
Agreed.
They may be doing it as we speak. So remember, boxing it will always be around. You know, it's boxing's always done a good job in building stars. Right now, with Canelo losing. Who is that next, superstar?
Abdullah Mason would never fight in that league. The Devin Haney's of the world would never fight in that league. The Brian Norman Jr.'s would never fight in that league. Correct me if you think I'm wrong about saying that. Correct me, but those guys aren't.
I agree.
The Cromwell Motons, they're not going to fight in that league, and so there has to be a time where. Once we get our champion, right, we gotta test our champion now to prove, because one of the things I love about Dana White, I do think he wants his league to be the best. I believe that. And so at some point in time, I gotta test it against the upper level competition. Hence the reason I think him and Turkey, the way they friends now, I think that's where that kind of comes into play. And so I think it's going to be a time where he's gonna he's gonna have if we want to say 5 years from now, you know what I'm saying, as he recruits the amateurs and those type of things, he's paying better. We have no disagreement, but he has to have his guys fight the upper level guys today for his league to literally have credibility, because boxing different is very similar to the UFC, but it's totally different. It's totally different, and the reason it is because the UFC was able to monopolize the sport and have a champion or have one champion, whereas right now in every division, unless you unify, we got at least 4 champions in those divisions, and those are the upper echelon guys that how we look at it. So you have to tap into those guys and fight those guys with your champion to prove that your league is doing more and is on par with the modern boxing game. That's what I think he's going to have to do that.
But see, Dub, you looking at it as this is something. This is how you will move. Dana White is going to promote his fighters, and he's going to promote them as this is the best guy. In this league, he's not going to say in boxing. He's going to keep pushing the name of their league. He's going to say this is the best guy at 135 pounds. This is the best guy at 147 pounds. He's going to promote their league, and he's going to promote the best fighter in that league, not in boxing. They're doing something different than what boxing is.
But if you do that,
but here's the thing. I hear what you're saying, Dub, but I think what he's doing is that it's not going to be in the beginning. Like all those fighters you name, we know they're big stars. But what's one of the biggest problems among the biggest quote unquote stars? Because we got to say quote unquote because we have stars, but we don't know how really good some of them may be. Like a Tank Davis, I'll use that perfect example.
They don't fight each
other, but we don't know how good he really could be because he hasn't fought his contemporaries. But what's the main problem with all those fighters you name? The main problem, in my opinion, and why boxing is bad, is that they're not fighting each other. And what Dana White, I believe, is going to try to do is he's going to try to match up guys well. And you brought up Pro Box. That's what Pro Box is. But they're promotion. They promote 50-50 fights, but they're under the sanctioning body rules, right? So eventually they pick a sanctioned body that they want to go in their rankings and represent until they be ranked high and fight for their title, et cetera, et cetera. What Dana White is going to try to do is once they get a gauge and a better gauge and do whatever tournaments that they do, they're going to have their top guys, and he's going to promote those guys as the best and build on them. So it's going to be a process, right? And that's why I say it's going to be good for a lot of fighters, because then we're going to see who's really good and who's not. And eventually, some of the big names you mentioned, when their contracts die out with whatever promotion company they're doing, they may go over to the TKO league and sign with them. You know what I'm saying? And what Turkey's done, Turkey has taken a lot of guys from other promotional companies and created these big fights as well. He's worked with the promoters. I think what Dana White is going to do, he's going to build his own thing, and he's going to build it on quality more than whatever's been happening so far.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example of that. You have the UFC, you have Bellator, and you have the PFL. In order for the Bellator guys to fight UFC guys, they have to leave Bellator. Now the PFL and the Bellator, they will fight each other, but in order for Bellator to fight UFC, those guys and compete against those guys, they have to leave Bellator, and vice versa. In order for UFC fighters to compete against the Bellator guy, they have to leave the UFC. So in order for them, this league that he's starting, in order for those guys to compete against the actual boxers that we recognize as the best guys, they're going to have to leave that league in order to compete against those guys. That's how he's going to have it set up. If you want to compete against them, you got to leave us. When your contract is up, then you can leave and go compete against those guys.
I don't know
Okay.
enough about UFC to speak to that point. I don't know enough about it. I don't watch UFC like that, so I plead the fifth in this situation. I plead the fifth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's something that's. I think, like I said, it's going to be good and bad. My worry is that once these guys they become some sort of star, and and if it is a success, because we don't know if it's going to be a success or not, right? We don't know until we see the fights happening, and we start seeing shows. We're not going to know. My problem is that once these guys, if they are successful, and these guys become stars, stars that I guess you could say Dana White built and the league built, because that's what he's going to try to do, built up his own stars from the ground up. Is Are they going to get their fair share of the money when they have their big fights? That's really my main
Nope.
concern with this.
Well,
It's gonna
here's the
be just
thing.
like
How,
it's gonna be just like the
does Dana
UFC.
White? Well, I was going to say, does Dana White go ahead and open up the pockets, for these boxers? But what about the guys that have been fighting for him in the UFC? How are they going to feel? The guys that already hit stars, they're going to pay attention to what these boxers are making. So someone like Tom Aspinall, who's the heavyweight, star that they have, you're going to go out and because you want to make an impression, you're going to start paying these boxers, at the same pay scale? I don't think so. So
No,
it's going to
if you
be a lot of questions. Mhm.
But this is the
no,
reason I
if you
say
listen to
this
if
is
you
why I
listen to what
compared
he
it to.
said,
Go
Guys,
ahead. Go ahead, Freak. My apologies.
no, I was saying if you listen to what they said when they first announced this, they said they were going to be going after the young fighters. They're not going
Right.
after the stars. They're trying to get
Right.
these young guys and build them up. They know
Right.
that these stars are not going to go for that pay scale. They already know that.
Right.
These guys are already making $2 or $3 million a fight. They like, hold up, I'm making $2 or $3 million. You want me to drop all the way down to 750 per fight?
Mhm.
No, I'm not doing that. So they already know that. They're going after the young guys, that the guys coming out of the amateur, the guys that's not getting these big contracts. Those are the ones that they're trying to go after.
So I want to ask this question then, and I understand what you're saying, Free. What's Turkey's role in this? Because we've seen Turkey. He's the guy now he's paying these guys of millions and millions of dollars to get in there and fight. So what's gonna, and we done seen how him and Dana White, how quote unquote close they are. What would be Turkey's role in it? I think that hence the reason I used the terminology I used, or the example I used as far as the G League and the NBA. What would y'all say Turkey's role is? Let me ask that.
Turkey is the money man. He's the money man behind the league. The league. But you got to remember, Turkey said he had 18 months left to deal with these promoters. After that 18 months, he was doing his own thing. He's not going to be working with these other promoters anymore. It's only going to be their league that they're starting. He's going to start building up that league. He's going to be putting money into that league. That's why he's the money man. They got Dana White to run it, but Turkey is the money man. He's going to be putting these matches together, the promotion, the arenas and things like that. That's what Turkey is there for, to pay for all of that stuff, because these guys are going to be all under that banner. They don't have individual promotion companies that will put the fight on. It's going to be
so
Turkey.
Free. When we talk about an Abdullah Mason, when we talk about him, right? He's about to fight Sam Noakes on a Turkey card. Abdullah Mason will never sign to this league. Never. So
we know that. We're not
But my question is what do you do with somebody like Abdullah? What do you do with him?
What you mean? What you do with them? They not under Turkey.
But Top Rank, how long does Top Rank stay in boxing? How long does Top Rank stay in boxing?
Top Rank,
right now they don't have TV.
They already have. I believe they already have a TV deal. They just wait until the new year to start that TV deal. Because remember, Paramount came out and said they got 12 fights lined up. 12 dates lined up for boxing. When Paramount came into the business, they said they wasn't doing away with boxing. So if you look at the landscape, DAZN got Matchroom and Golden Boy. Pro Box is on YouTube. PBC is with Amazon. The only people that's left out is Top Rank. I'm thinking Top Rank probably has that deal with Paramount for those 12 slots that they got. I think they already have a deal lined up. They just waiting for the new year. That's why they letting Dula Mason go fight on the turkey card. They letting this guy go fight on the turkey card or a PBC card because they said, we're going to sit back and just collect this money from these fighters while they fight on other promotion company, and then we roll out our new TV deal at the beginning of the year.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Abdullah Mason is 22 years old. Correct me.
No, he's 21.
Yeah, he's younger.
21.
Yeah, just turned 21.
He just turned 21
so what y'all telling me is that some type of way Abdullah Mason, the man, he got at least 10 years left in the game of boxing. I think we'll all agree on that. And that's at the least. At the least. Him fighting the 31, I think that's the least that he has. So you're telling me that some type of way you're gonna be able to run a league and not put guys against Abdullah Mason, one of the top guys in the sport of boxing. I got Abdullah Mason putting hands on Sam Noakes, me personally.
See, but you are the hardcore fan that's going to watch a pro box show on a Thursday, you know.
Agreed.
But I think Dana White's going to tap into a different market, and I get that. And he's going to create his own fan base.
See, you're stuck on the boxers that's in the sport right now. When they start their league, they're getting all of their guys. These are the guys that's going to be in the league. However many it is, these are the guys that's in the league. They're going to be fighting amongst each other to build up that league. That's what they're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. They're going to fight amongst each other to build up that league. You got in your head that in order for them to build that league, they got to fight with these guys. That's not how they're thinking. They're thinking we're going to build our league on the fighters that we have, not with the fighters from the boxing association, the actual boxing league. We're not building our fighters off of their back. We're building them off of our back.
Mm-hmm. You know, like he had that reality show. It's gonna be stuff like that you're gonna see. Like the I can't remember the title of the UFC reality show.
The Contender.
It's gonna be something like that, and he's gonna build stars. He's going to give them personality. They're going to show these guys training. They're going to show, family issues, stuff like that. And he's going to build his own world. I don't think he's not. People on this panel at fucking 15 past midnight on YouTube that are real boxing fans. I don't think he cares about us. I think he's creating a different market. He's going to bring over the same people that are loyal to him in UFC. He's making his own world. And he's going to build it. He's going to promote it as the future of the sport. This is real boxing with no politics.
So what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sock, what you're saying is forget the Devin Haney's of the world, forget the Abdullah Masons of the world, forget the Juniors. We ain't no way we can do that.
Not us. I'm not us. I'm talking about him, his market. That's how, he's like D3 said.
He's doing it.
Yeah, it's going to be his world, and it's fine. Fuck it. I mean, it doesn't mean that what he's selling is right. Fuck it. You know what? If you're going to get,
that's why it's
it's more TV. It's more content for us to watch.
It's Ultimate Fighter, by the way, not Contender. That was the
Ultimate Fighter, right? Thank you. I can't remember. But you're going to see something like that.
Yeah, that's why it's intriguing to see if it's going to work, because we already know majority of the people that watch boxing, they know about these stars. Now he wants to try to create another league and bring up the lower level guys and some of the amateurs that people don't really know about and build these guys into stars. We want to see, is it going to work? Because you're going against the actual boxers that everybody knows, and you want to build up these guys that nobody really pays attention to. Now, it could work, but I mean, we got to see how it goes, because it very well could work, or it could be a total failure.
If it, and I always say I'm not the greatest business mind. Hey, I'm Doug Brightside. I'm a regular ass nigga, respectfully. I'm regular. I'm regular. You know what I'm saying? But I would always say, if I'm gonna build this league, then I have to. There has to be, when I put these championship fights on, right? When I build a star, I gotta match him up against the other greats. That's the only way I can make that. I can show that my league is solidified. Like, what we're doing is solidified, and you have to fight those other guys. And if you don't have those other guys there, and you're one of the criticisms that UFC get is, well, hell, it's a better fight over there at Bellator. I don't know nothing, and like I tell y'all, I don't know nothing about I don't know nothing about that shit, because I don't watch. Hey, that ain't my lane. That's not my lane. I love boxing, but my thing is if I'm gonna prove something, then the way I have to prove it is by building a champion and then showing that he whooping everybody. He whooping all these guys. That's why I say
Dana White don't think like that.
maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, it becomes something. But when you start to put something together, you're not looking for it to be something in 5 to 10 years. I mean, you are. You definitely are. Let me rephrase that. You definitely are. But when you have these young guys out here, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Anybody who knows the sport of boxing, and maybe I think that may be my downfall in all of this, is most folks don't know shit about boxing.
Yeah.
Because they don't know shit about boxing, then they will gravitate toward that. Whereas, I'm a boxing fan, and because I'm a boxing fan, I look at things a little differently. Maybe that's my problem.
Well, I hope this league succeeds, because it gives. I hope look, if you're a boxing fan, then you hope that league succeeds, because it's going to give people opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to give people more jobs. Shit. I look at it from a business standpoint myself. I would love to, to have someone in that, especially when you know that they're going to get steady work.
Yeah.
Fuck it. At the end of the day, it's a business.
The more and more this conversation comes up.
I was about to.
Let me go real quick. So the more and more the conversation comes up and we speak about it, and the more I hear it in other channels as well. In the beginning, I wasn't for it, but now that I actually looked at it, read through some of the bill and stuff, and listen, me and Sock know a fighter that's going to be doing this, that's going to be in this league, and the more and more I'm hearing about stuff, the more and more I'm with it, and I want to give it a chance, and I'm kind of defending it, and I think a lot of people are really misunderstood as to what the league is going to do. And like Sock said, it's going to give more jobs. It's going to give people more opportunity. Sock is a strength and conditioning coach. Wouldn't it be cool, like, if like a few more guys from the Bronx, they were signed up for this league, and they need a conditioning coach, and they sign up with Mr. Socrates Palmer? You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's good, and it's like another thing Queen 71 just said too. I think it ultimately be better for the fighters with the benefit package. They're gonna have good health care, right? I just think we need to just give it a chance. And if you like boxing, I think stop looking at Dana White for the scumbag that he may be, and maybe this plan, in this league may actually work. Give it a shot. But I've seen people really kill it just because they don't like Dana White. And listen, I wasn't for, because like I said, look, 3 years ago, maybe 2.5, Sock told me, and then I told a bunch of people, because he was like, look, Dana White is getting involved in boxing. We said this, and then we had the fight where one of our guys, a guy that Sock trains and works with, fought Kalen Walsh in the Garden, and who was there? Triple H, Dana White, John Jones. I mean, there was a lot of UFC. Now, mind you, the UFC was fighting, I think, the next day, but the UFC was heavily involved. Dana White was heavily involved, and it was like, you know what? This is just only the beginning, of Dana White getting into this anyway. So I was like, uh-oh, it's here we go, and and then our guy got kind of screwed in that fight, with the referee and stuff. That's a totally different story. So the more and more the conversations come up, the more and more I'm siding with this league, and I want to give it a chance. I still do believe there's some loopholes in there, which could be bad in the future, but let's see how it plays out. I'm not going to totally shit on it just yet. Go ahead.
And if
DK.
any,
No, I was going to say.
sorry.
I was going to say, piggyback off of what Sock said. A lot of these guys going to get opportunities because it's a lot of guys that we don't ever get a chance to see. We don't ever get a chance to know. Just like I give for example, like Bartram. Nobody knew who Bartram was. And most people was like, Tim Tszyu going to go ahead and walk through Bartram, and he's going to move on to have the rematch with Fandor. And then Bartram did what he did, and everybody was like, oh, hold up. We gotta pay attention to Bartram. With this new league, it could be a good thing for some of these guys that are good fighters, but they don't get the opportunity. Because there's a lot of good fighters that just don't get the opportunity. That's why I say, for me, the belts don't matter. It's the fights that matter. Because I know some guys get opportunities that other guys don't get because they don't have the backing. So it could be some good guys that they get that they say, okay, you know what? This guy is actually good, but we never got a chance to watch him because he wasn't signed to PBC or he wasn't signed to Top Rank or Matchroom or Golden Boy. He was fighting on a independent promotional company, and so they didn't have a TV deal, so we never got a chance to see him fight. So, I mean, it could be a good thing for a lot of these guys that don't get the exposure.
Yeah, the exposure or not getting fights in general.
A guy like Bakram is a great example. When's the last time he's fought?
He's the end of last year, I think, right?
Which is a joke, because he's with a dead promoter, in main events, respectively, but they're not putting on shows. They're not headlining him, so it's fucked up. His career's wasting away. He's not getting any younger, and he's the type of fighter that he's too risky to fight. You only fight him unless you have to. He doesn't generate money. He's not selling tickets, so it's fucked up. I work with one of the most talented fighters, I think, at 130, in the world. I'm biased, but Ofacio hasn't fought in over a year in a year.
Exactly. That's why I said
it's ridiculous. He hasn't fought in over a year. That's ridiculous.
Now he's gonna get the opportunity, and he's gonna get at least minimal 2 fights next year, no matter what, maybe 3. And he's going to be covered. He's going to get paid. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be active. I mean, that's a great thing. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of fighters out there that are struggling. Queen 71 brought up Tales from the B-side. I didn't want to cheap plug myself, but she mentions that we get fighters that talk about that all the time, where promoters don't fight for them. They don't get them fights, and it's tough. This league is going to give these guys the opportunity. Especially, it's going to be perfect for guys like Sock just said, a guy like Ofacio and other fighters as well that can't get a fight.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that it's going to absolutely work. I'm just saying there's a possibility that it could be a good thing. And if you like the sport of boxing, you're going to pay attention to it regardless whether it's their league or it's the actual sport of boxing. You're going to pay attention because especially if it's a good fight, you're going to be. It's been plenty of times I've been in the house on a late night, nobody was live, and I'm sitting in the house watching going through the TV, and I see a fight come on. I don't know none of the guys, but I'm sitting there watching because I watch boxing, and I'm like, oh damn, this fight is kind of good. I remember I was watching a pro box fight a couple of weeks ago, and I said, hey, did anybody catch the fight that was on the other night? Because that card was hella good, and it be things like that where if you watch boxing, you're gonna watch it and pay attention to it because you watch boxing. Now, he's gonna have to try to somehow tap into the casuals and get them to come over there, which I think Dana White will be able to get some of them from the UFC to travel over to there because he already has a huge following with the UFC. So he'll be able to migrate some of those fans over to that boxing league, which in turn might migrate some of those fans into the actual sport of boxing.
Yeah.
Because now they're paying attention to boxing. Now they might start paying attention to the actual boxing league, and they're like, hold up, dang, boxing is not as half bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
And
Listen,
the established promoters, that's gonna you would hope they would get their shit together because there's competition now. Competition, not necessarily, you know, their fighters are better than ours. No, competition for attention. Okay, you can have the best fighters on your roster, but nobody's watching you. If you're not having the same ratings as Dana White's promotion, then you're in trouble. So it'll step up. I mean, Eddie Hearn will have to step up. Oscar De La Hoya's gonna have to step up. You know, and whatever left of Top Rank, they're gonna have to step up and put on better shows.
absolutely. 'Cause those big promotion companies, those top 3 or 4, they put on their own shows, and any other smaller guys. We mentioned main events, but like you said, they're not putting on any shows themselves. But there are good shows out there. Like we mentioned, Pro Box. Who's another good one? Miguel Cotto Promotions. When they throw shows out in Puerto Rico, there's some good fights on those cards. I mean, mind you,
Yes.
some are bad, but if you like boxing,
Mhm.
there's some good 50-50 fights on those cards. So like, I mean, and if you're a true boxing fan, it's good. And I think the TKO is what they're trying to build. If I could read Dana's mind and how he wants to compete, and he kind of shits on what boxing is today. He wants to build on quality. He wants to produce and build stars from the mud, from the ground up that nobody knows, and then match them up. And that's how he wants to grow, his league. Which it took some time for the UFC, but eventually, he got it. And look how much money they're making now. The only argument and only problem we have is that the fighters are not making the money. But at the end of the way, business wise, the
They're
UFC
printing
makes,
money.
yeah, they're printing money. That's perfect. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Dub,
mean,
I plead the fifth. I'm pleading the fifth. I'm pleading the fifth.
well,
What
Dub,
y'all want?
you
What y'all want from me?
your
I done
opinion.
told y'all. I done told y'all my opinion. So I'm
Yeah,
pleading.
yeah, of course, and I respect it. I mean, I just think we got to just open up a little bit more and just let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I like I said, I shitted on it before, and now I'm a little bit biased because I do know somebody personally that's going to be doing this, and and I want to see him be great. So, and I think this is a great opportunity for him, and you know what? And this league is creating that opportunity for him. So let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? So
in any of the
I
press
got.
releases, did they talk about the weight classes?
I haven't seen anything on the weight classes yet.
Because originally I heard they're going to do the original 8. The original 8 weight classes. Featherweight, lightweight.
I don't think they'll do original 8. I don't think they can do original 8 because it limits you too much. Because of what's already going on in the sport of boxing. It limits you too much. And in my opinion, you never want to be limited as far as putting fights on. So I think that original 8 would limit you way too much.
Okay.
Just
curious.
I'm
just curious. I mean,
maybe they do the original 8, and that's what they start off with, and see what happens. Because who knows how many fighters they actually are signed up to this in each division. So it could be the original 8. Maybe because you're talking a lot of fighters.
It do limit you a little bit, but not really, because now fighters can fight a little heavier. They don't have to cut as much weight, and because they're not trying to make 115 pounds, they could go ahead and fight at 126 instead of trying to make 115 pounds, or they could fight at 135 instead of trying to make 122 pounds. So it does eliminate you limits you a little bit, but it actually gives room for the fighter not having to cut so much weight to make these smaller weight classes. They can fight at a comfortable weight, because that was the thing with when boxing first started. They only had 8 weight classes, and so fighters were fighting in those 8 weight classes, and we had a lot of great fights in those 8 weight classes. But you didn't have to worry about that.
Fighters would have been doing that. They don't want to do that.
But the fighters don't want to. That's the same way. The same way. That's where all of the belts started coming into
Right.
circulation. It's when they started creating all of these extra weight classes. Now they started giving out more belts, and they started expanding. Okay, well, we got one champion here, and we're going to have an intern champion, and then another sanctioning body came in, and then they had a champion and an intern, then another sanctioning body. That's where all these belts started coming into involvement, because they started adding more weight classes, so they wanted more champions. So it kind of eliminates some of that stuff as well.
Do y'all think a Bam Rodriguez would go fight on that type of card?
Who?
Bam Rodriguez.
Bantamweight was one of the original weight classes. There's always been bantamweight. Why not? That's a taco away.
He's trying to get He's trying to get one of these fighters to go. He's trying to see which one of these fighters are actually going to go over there. One of the stars is actually.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Bam Rodriguez's contract runs out, I think Dana White would be stupid if he doesn't say, "Hey, let's set up a meeting." Why not? You want to bring credibility. You want to bring credibility to your league. That's instant.
It all depends on what the fighter finds value in more. Do they find their purse as more value, or do they find the benefits that TKO offer that boxing don't offer, which is the health care and one champion and things like that? You can easily be able to compete for a championship. And so it all depends on the fighter, because I do believe there's going to be some fighter that we're going to be surprised that actually signs over there, because they find other benefits than just the money. Because they like, okay, $750,000, I'm not making that, but if I make that, that's the limit. But at least I'm a champion and I'm making that. Whether right now I'm only making $15,000 a fight. So I move up and become a champion. I mean, that it's great for them. So,
real quick, I gotta address my sister. Shout out to 2071. PD, he wanted to put it on. Shout out to my sister, but she said, "Why do you keep talking about fighters already at the top?" The reason I'm talking about fighters at the top is because that's how you get your league to be legitimate. You have to have some of those guys that's already champions, some of those top guys to fight on your league. That's how you get legitimacy. Real quick, would y'all disagree with that?
Yes, I do.
Why would you disagree with it? Why?
Because you can get legitimacy just by building your own fighters, and people see the value in those fighters. If people see the value in those fighters, that creates legitimacy. You don't have
if people see the value, if they see the value in these fighters, but these guys ain't on the level of the Bam Rodriguez's, the Devin Haney's, the Shakur Stevens. Hold on, let me finish.
You ain't let me finish.
All right,
go ahead. You got it. No, I did cut you off. You're right.
What I'm saying is, when you build a fighter, and if he does have something like the Ultimate Fighter, where people can get to know these fighters, he has a show like that where people can get to know these fighters. They are drawn more into that fighter because now they know a little bit of back history about these fighters. They know a little bit of the story of these fighters. So now that creates legitimacy. So now we feel more connected to this fighter than we do with the fighters that fight in the actual sport of boxing, because we don't really know nothing about their background. Unless we do some research and we read some other stories, we're actually seeing the background about these fighters. So they can create legitimacy off of just building guys from the ground.
Right. And also the media is going to control the narrative, because if he's on Paramount, right, you don't think as part of that cross promotion they're going to have one of these guys sitting on NFL Today, hey, we're here with the world champion, blah blah blah, you know what I mean? Like, and people, that who's pushing the message, because him and ESPN are no longer together, right? They took their program. They took the UFC off, right?
I think
I
they
don't know if
did.
that.
I'm not totally sure because it's weird because they added wrestling, which is also under
Right,
that TKO banner. So
right. So let's say if he puts his show on ESPN on Sports Center, they're going to be promoting those guys. So they are
Yeah.
they're gonna control the mind of the fan that, oh shit, Caleb Walsh is the best 160 in the world, because he fights, for the brand that they promote and that they showcase. That's stuff you got to think about.
But we
And
all
maybe the
know,
real fan knows that it's not true, but you know,
hey, check this out.
and that's what it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, TD.
No, I was going to bring up something a little different. I was like, check this out. You mentioned Kane Walsh, and 154 is not one of the 8 divisions. It's 160, and Kane
Mhm.
Walsh fights at 154, and Vito, I believe, fights at 160 as well. So
Mhm.
those are the 2 fighters that supposedly moved over to Zuffa. So right there, is that trying to tell you that those are the 2 guys that eventually will meet? Because that's a big fight. That's a big fight for for guys that are not casuals that really know boxing. That's a future fight that could be set up and could be, and possibly be made. So they're telling you that right there.
This is outrageous.
Oh shit!
Y'all lucky I ain't got my drop right now. This is outrageous. And
I don't have the sound bite.
At this current moment in time, y'all tell me 154 is not the most dangerous division in the sport of boxing. Y'all can't.
But I think you're missing the point though.
No, saying that 154 is not a division of the 8. Like when
agree. We agree there. We agree.
Yeah.
But I'm still saying that it's the most dangerous division in the sport of boxing. 140 is not a glamour division, right? It's not one of the originals, but at the end of the day, it's one of the most dangerous divisions in the sport of boxing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is and I think really I'm coming from a boxing. I'm a boxing head anyway, so I'm coming from a true boxing head. Either
a purist.
We're gonna talk about this anyways, but coming from a purist point of view, I want to see these guys mix it up at 140. I want to see these guys mix it up at 54. 47, one of the glamour divisions. 35, one of the glamour divisions. They can't sniff these niggas respectfully. They can't sniff their balls.
But that's the problem. They're not fighting. That's why we're in this mess. The best are not fighting the best.
But see, look, how dangerous will 47 be if you combine 40 to 47, or you split 40 with 40? Some of them go to 47, the ones that's on the heavier side, and the ones that's on the lighter side go to 35. Now you put more talent at 35 and you put more talent at 47. Same thing with 54. You have some of the lighter guys go to 47, some of the heavier guys go to 60.
I literally just had this conversation the other night.
You put more talent in those.
But everybody criticized me for saying when niggas cut weight and get down to lower weight. Oh well, now you trying to gain the advantage. You trying to do this, that, whatever. Well, you lose. All I'm saying is that at the end of the day, my whole thing is I want to see the best guys in the ring with each other. That's it. And none of these guys. I don't think none of these guys that we consider the best right now are going to be a part of this league. They're not going to be a part of it.
But they're not fighting anyway, so who cares? These guys don't fight. They don't fight though. How Shakur
are part of the National Boxing Association. They're going to be a part of that league. The best guys in this TKO league, those guys are going to fight each other. Those are the best guys in that league. They're going to fight each other. If you might get a chance to see the best guys in the actual sport of boxing fight each other if they ever get themselves together and decide they want to lace these gloves.
The guys that are gonna sign to this league aren't gonna be the guys that we look at and say, man, hey,
but Dub, you missed what we said.
I gotta finish.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you're right. Go ahead, finish.
I'll cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that the guys you're going to see in the beginning, we are not going to be able to know that in the beginning. What he's going to do is eventually build up these guys and give you those 50-50 fights like Queen 71 is saying with Pro Box. That is his goal. That is what Dana's going to try to build this league on, providing quality, providing top matchups, right? Once they start building traction and build these fighters up for so that we can know about them, because let's face it, a lot of people don't know about our guy here from the Bronx, and we're telling you that he's really good, but nobody knows that until you see him fight. And you're gonna need to see him maybe fight once or twice to be like, hey, this guy is good. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna give you close fights. They're not gonna match this guy, the top guy against the lowest guy, because how are they gonna gauge from that from the begin with? They're gonna match him up well and give us good fights and eventually build those guys to make them stars. And then when they build up the next guy in that weight class, they're going to match those guys up, and we're going to get the best fight the best. I truly believe that's what. And if I don't, if I say if that's not what he's going to do, I as a boxing guy has to believe he wants to do that if he's building this league.
Doug, which is the one fight? Doug, which is which?
When y'all said best fight the best, because Doug's mind, the best is only the guys that he know is the best. That's where y'all losing, Doug.
Well, no, but I'll ask Doug a simple question. Out of the remaining calendar year, which is that fight that you're most, waiting for? Which is the most anticipated fight?
In my opinion, Junior versus Devin. That's the best. That's the fight I'm most anticipated in seeing. Junior versus Devin.
Brian Norman, and that's in November, right?
Yeah,
but that's the problem. That they're too far and few between. That's boxing. The reason you're dealing with Dana White is because of the years of the bullshit. That boxing has put fans through. Why haven't we? Why weren't we able to get Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis? Two guys in their prime. You know what I mean? Like that shit has caught up.
But neither one of them they're not gonna be in that league.
No, but I'm just saying that it's part that this league is born because of the bullshit that the establishment has produced. If the establishment was doing the right thing, we wouldn't have to deal with this. We wouldn't be talking about this. But Dana White sees that window.
Dub, if that guy is talented as Virgil and a guy is talented as Boots underneath this league, he's gonna make them fight each other. Right now, both of those guys we just mentioned, they both are represented by different promoters, and it's not gonna happen. That's the problem that we have with the sport. But under the league, when he eventually builds those stars or build those fighters up, he's going to make them fight each other. And in the UFC, they do that. They match up the top guys all the time.
When Terence Crawford fought, what's his name, Spence, they were both in their 30s. When Sugar Ray Leonard fought Tommy Hearns, one was 23, the other one was 27, or 24 and 27. You get the different? Come on, man.
That's where stuff at. Go ahead, Doug. Go ahead.
I done argued about this for years. I agree with you. We agree, right? And my only problem is that so we're gonna take what, because this shit, like I said earlier, it's gonna take at least 5 years for it to be anything of substance. It's gonna take at least that, and you're still gonna have to have your top guys fighting these guys, these younger guys, the younger guys today. You're gonna have to have them fighting them for us to understand that. I'm gonna understand anyways because I watch the sport, but for you're gonna have that happen. And if you're not gonna have that happen, then what we're gonna be looking at, I don't know what it is. I don't know what we're gonna be looking at, bro.
See, that's what the problem is. See, that's what the problem is. When you only pay attention to certain guys, you get focused on as these are just the best guys. I keep telling you, there's a lot of guys that don't get opportunities, and they could be better than Devin Haney. They could be better than Jerron Boots Ennis, but they don't get the opportunity because they don't have the backing.
But the only way we will know that if they fight them, and he's not. No, they're not. They're not fighting them now. Exactly. Well, we done already agreed on that. We done already agreed on that. So this is why I asked the question from the beginning. Is he gonna force these guys to go fight those guys? Is he gonna make that happen? Hence the reason I said from the beginning.
No.
Hold on, but and this is why I asked the question from the beginning. Correct me if I'm wrong. So when I broke down the G League versus the NBA, I broke it down that way for a simple reason, because you got to push them guys up against the guys that we think are the best.
But he's not going to look at his league as no G League. He's going to look at his league as the league.
And I can't sit here and say it's the greatest league or the best league when you're not fighting the best.
No, that's what.
And you're right. You're right.
That's what he did.
Two things could be right. Right. Yes.
When he started the
Go ahead.
it was just his league. You had other little MMA
Pride
promotions that were going on.
Pride. Yes, Pride.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
Just all he focused on was the UFC.
I can't see it. Only reason I can't see it is because I have no clue. I'm not a UFC guy.
I am. Back in the day, like you said, that Pride Fighting Championship was the biggest mixed martial arts league in Japan, and they had stars: Rampage Jackson, Bas Rutten, the Shamrock Brothers. They were there, and then eventually, Dana White bought them out.
Yeah, he started his UFC league, and he was focused on his league. He had his guys; they was fighting amongst each other. They wasn't fighting none of the Pride guys. They wasn't fighting no other guys. They was fighting in the UFC.
So my question is,
and then he started bringing
Gary Shaw.
My question is, and like I say, I don't know the UFC like y'all do. I say that respectfully. Y'all would give me a life lesson on that respectfully. I have no clue about the UFC. That's not my lane. But my thing is this. Okay. So y'all understand the UFC. Y'all understand what Dana White done did previously. How do you marry that with this league that he's starting and the guys? Because like I said, and I want y'all to correct me. I'm putting a 5-year timetable on this, at least a 5-year timetable, for you to have quote unquote stars in this TKO league. My thing is for us to know that they're the best, they have to fight the best, and none of these guys are going to be in that league. So how do we marry this thing, in y'all opinion? How do we marry it to prove that you're the best?
We know that they are the best of the TKO league.
Right.
We know that the same way, that's
not what I asked. That's not what I asked.
Listen, what I'm saying. I know what you're asking. They're not looking at it. They're not saying these are the best. These are the best guys versus those best guys. They saying these are the best guys in all of MMA. When he has his UFC, you have Bellator, you have PFL. He said these are the best guys, period. Whether you believe it or not, that's what he believes. There was guys that was in Bellator that I believe was better than some of the UFC guys. But he wasn't focused on them. He was focused on the UFC.
But it's not going to make sense to me. It's not going to make sense to me because I don't know about it.
It doesn't matter if it makes sense to you. It doesn't matter if it makes sense to you. This is what he's going to do.
It does. I'm asking the question for it to make sense to me. That's
I don't like to do hypotheticals, but is it in the realm of possibility that they could buy out Top Rank? Top Rank was rumored to be sold a couple of years ago. Bob Arum God bless Bob Arum and his energy, but eventually he's going to be pushing up daisies, right? And Todd DeBuff, is he a lifer like Bob Arum? I don't think so. So who's not to say that in 2 years they buy out Top Rank and they absorb them into this monster, which I think it has the potential to be, just because of the fucking cash that they have behind it. That's a possibility.
Let's get it straight. We're not saying that it's going to be a success. we saying just give it a chance.
Yes.
Because if you don't give it a chance, it will never be a success.
But I
said
from the beginning. I think that it's more boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always said, I don't have a problem with it. My thing is how do you marry this with everything else going on in the sport of boxing? That's what I'm shaky about. Is
time will tell.
No.
I think time will tell.
A time will tell, and I think you already seen success in other low end promotions. We said Pro Box, that's not a big time promotion, but they've been having some success. I mentioned Miguel Cotto promotions. They've had some good success in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not saying, it's gonna be the greatest thing since sliced bread. It has a possibility that it could be, but time will tell. And then real quick, a comment, Queen, because I want to make sure I understand this. She says, how many times do I gotta say Dev said he wants the belt? Did he say he wants the Zuffa belt, that he wanted to be a Zuffa champion? Is that what you're saying? Because
he said he wanted the Ring Magazine belt. He said he wanted that belt.
Okay.
I gotta say this.
Zuffa belt.
And real quick, I say this respectfully to your channel, and shout out to my sister. Hey, all right, keep coming at me. I'm gonna get out there now.
I don't think anybody's getting at you, Dub, because you're entitled to your opinion. I just think, I was like you as well, but I'm just like, if you guys have not known me by now, I like to see both sides of the equation. I like to see the other person's point of view, and the more and more like I said, hearing this topic, I'm kind of in favor of what's been going on. And listen, I always admit when I'm biased, right? Yeah, I always admit when I'm biased. I have a little bit of bias as well because we know a guy that's already going to be in this thing, and and I want to see him be great. So that's where I stand on it.
I've never shitted on the. I ain't never said nothing crazy about. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, and anytime there's more boxing for me, man, that's a great thing. I love more boxing, right?
Thank you.
And I have no problem because I think it does help these younger guys. I think that them understanding what my pay scale will be, I think all of that is a great thing for boxing, right? I'm a fan of Nazi. I'm a fan of Najee Lopez. I'm a fan. He from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I done been at his fight. That's a whole nother. I don't want to get too far into it. All I'm saying is how does this whole situation, how does it marry in boxing? That's my real criticism of all of it. How does it marry in boxing? Because what you starting to what is the Zuffa belt, the ring belt. I remember a time where the ring belt was the lineal championship, right? It was the time where it was number one versus number two in the division. That's what the ring belt was really about at that current moment in time. It's a little different now, in my opinion, but even with the sanctioning bodies, you have those. Oh, go ahead. I'm
sorry. I thought you were done. No,
I'm gonna get long-winded. Go ahead.
No. Look, I think time will tell. Now, this could also flop. I mean, if they're not pulling in the TV ratings, then eventually it's going to disappear and it's going to be a failure. So it can go one of two ways. It can flop, or it could be the shit. And if it's the shit, eventually everyone else is going to get on board because they're going to get on the gravy train. Like I said, don't be surprised they buy out Top Rank.
I think there's a third opportunity in there. It becomes more like the Pro Box that we see. With Pro Box, one of the things we see, Pro Box, they force individuals to fight each other. And I love Pro Box fights because those are closer 50-50 fights, in my opinion, than we actually get to see with any other promotional company. I love them fights. My thing is I think it's gonna end up being more of a Pro Box, you know what I'm saying, than anything else.
I think that's probably the most comparable thing, at least in the immediate.
I'm glad you mentioned Pro Box because there was a few guys from the DMV area that fought on Pro Box that didn't get no notoriety until they started fighting on Pro Box. Once they started fighting on Pro Box, now people start to know who they are. They start to realize, oh, damn, these dudes can fight. But that's what I was saying. You got a lot of guys that can fight. They just not getting the exposure. So this league over here can very well give some exposure to some of these guys that actually can fight, but they're being hidden behind all of the quote unquote stars that we already know. They're being hidden because people only focus on the stars.
This is the problem. I said we agree 100% there. My thing has always been, how do you incorporate the big name? Because for us to understand and getting the best, fighting the best, how do you incorporate the big names? That's my problem.
No,
and
you're not. It's not. You're not.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me finish. Let me finish this. Hence the reason I brought up Turkey, and I was like, hey, this is one thing. When you get out of the Dana White TKO system, you can move to that Turkey system. You know what I'm saying? And you can be on them big cars, and then I think that's where we get the best fighting the best. I don't think the best fighting the best is gonna happen and I'm talking about now. In 5 years from now, 10 years from now, depending on how this system or how this league happens, we may get that. But at this current moment in time, we're not gonna get that anytime soon. And I don't know.
Doug, see that's the problem, Doug. That's the problem. You want this to be a success right away. No
agree.
No business is a success right away. You have within the first 3 years, most business fail within the first 3 years. So you have to make it past that first 3 years in order to say, okay, yeah, this business is actually going to be a success. So you're expecting when they start this TKO league that it to be a success right away. No, they're going to build it. It got to get some kind of steam behind it. They're going to build these fighters, and once they start building these fighters and people start to get to know these fighters, that's when the success is going to come in, if it ever takes off. I'm not saying that it will, but if it ever takes off, that's when it start to take off, when they start building these fighters.
Hold on, Freak. Out there. I grew up in a microwave society, man. I ain't lying to you. I'm 88, baby. I grew up in a microwave society. And yep, you absolutely right. I want it now. Yeah. I want it now. And
that's the mindset.
That's my downfall. That's probably my downfall.
That's today's world. That's today's world. Attention span is shorter than it's ever been. So you better hit the boot. You know.
You want the best fight now. The best fighters are not going to be in the TKO league. You still going to be asking for the best fighters to fight each other in this league. They're not going to be over in the TKO league. So you ain't got to worry about the best fight the best over in the TKO league, because the best fight the best is still here. The guys that you know are the best guys, they're still here. So you still going to be waiting for these guys to fight each other while these guys are fighting each other, building their name.
I gotta tell you, I gotta say this real quick. So, if you don't mind, and I ain't gonna say you don't owe me nothing. You don't owe me nothing. We gotta get an interview with you, brother, because I got questions. Respectfully, I say that respectfully, but I do. I'm a microwave guy. 88, baby. So when I want to see it now, and I don't think this gets us to where we need to get to in the sport of boxing today. Like I said, 5 to 7 years is really my time frame on TKO, and then I can really judge it. I can't judge it today because I really don't know how it's going to play out. But I do have that microwave. It is what it is.
Hey,
I am who I am.
But you know what? But you're not in the minority. I think the majority of people today are in that instant gratification. But there's also something else. Okay, now what about next? What's next now? You know, so it's a short attention span, and okay, this is great. Okay, give me some more. So there's also that aspect. Look, I think they are going to have to hit the floor running to grab people's attention. You know, and D said, it is in the first 3 years, it's going to succeed or fail. And hey, there's more content. Like this weekend sucks. There's nothing to watch. There's no
Yeah.
fights. Hopefully they fill that void of these shitty weekends. So
That's
Hey,
true.
man,
Hey,
That's
I'm
true.
glad you brought that up because that's what I was thinking about before, and I lost my train of thought. But that's where boxing failed when they took Friday night fights off of TV. They took Tuesday night fights off of TV.
yes,
That's when boxing started failing because
Yep.
that's when everybody was watching boxing. We was able to see fights on Tuesday. We was able
Tuesday
to see
on,
fights
on
Friday.
ABC. Tuesday on ABC.
Yeah, we was.
Hey,
We
that
was
was the
able to see
greatest
fights
that
on
we ever
Friday
had.
on
USA,
ESPN.
USA.
Yep. And then we was able to see fights Friday and Saturday. And then when they took away Tuesday and Friday, we were like, dang, we gotta wait all the way until Saturday to see a fight. And so now people get anxious, they start talking. That's when social media started having these daggone wars about who they believe is gonna win this fight, who they believe is gonna win that fight. Like Socrates said, people are in the microwave stage nowadays. When Bud Crawford finished his fight with Canelo, the very next day, the question was, what's next for Bud Crawford? The man didn't get a chance to celebrate his daggone win. And I'm
Right.
already asking what's next for Bud Crawford.
Shout out to Bud Crawford, man. Shout out to Bud.
Well, guys, I mean, this was a great conversation. I thought this was a great topic to talk about since, like you guys just mentioned, nothing really going on this weekend in the world of boxing. But yeah, great discussion. I mean,
Apologies to you, TD. Apologize.
no, what are you apologizing for? This was great. Listen, if we all agreed on the same thing, then the show would be boring. Like it's always good to hear another perspective. You know what I'm saying? So like, and you know what? You may not be necessarily wrong. I mean, I think you may be wrong, but you may be right, and we may be wrong. So like, let's see what happens. And I think this was a great discussion. And being for what it is this weekend. I mean, we got baseball, we got football, we got college football. Sock does not have baseball.
On contraire, I can always root against. Go Blue Jays.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, fuck the Braves, man.
Sock is a
Fuck the
glorified
Braves.
hitter.
Can I say fuck the Braves? Even though I love them, I love the Braves. Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em.
Hey, but you know what, Dub, Socrates is a Boston Red Sox fan, and
I thought he was a Met. Hold on, is he? I thought he was a Mets fan.
no, he's a
No.
Bostonian.
Nah,
Like
he's a
he's,
Red Sox fan.
born and raised in the Bronx, and he likes the Boston Red Sox. Crazy, and he likes the
Yeah, he's a
Boston
Boston Red
Celtics,
Sox fan.
How you like
Boston
Boston?
Bruins. He likes the
He
Boston
like the
Bruins.
Boston Celtics as well.
Yep.
Mhm.
Man, Boston should be the last. Respectfully, I say this respectfully.
Matter of fact, I don't think that
You
I
should
don't
never
think that
love.
there's a
You
single.
can't. How you
Now
love
that-
Boston?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think there's a single New York team that Sox like.
No.
No.
I swear to God,
I mean St. John's. I mean college wise, but
man,
that's about it.
security.
I'm like the salmon. I go against the current.
Look, I rock. Hold on. I rock with Syracuse. I rock with Syracuse because of Melo.
Sock used to rock with Syracuse because I'm
Yeah,
a big Syracuse fan.
I hit the transfer portal when Felipe came.
Yeah, you did hit the transfer portal when Felipe came, but Soccer's a big Syracuse fan. I'm a big Syracuse fan, and being that you brought that up, Dub, let me just
Good
mention it.
segue.
Yeah, this is. I wanted to do a video on it. I may still do a video, but rest in peace to my guy, my favorite college basketball player of all time, and not just Syracuse of all time. Because as being a Syracuse fan, I've seen a bunch of good Syracuse college basketball players: Carmelo Anthony, Derek Coleman, Billy Owens, but Lawrence Moten. Lawrence Moten, my favorite college basketball player. Rest in peace. He passed away at 53 years old.
Oh,
That was my favorite college basketball player. Sock can tell you that. Sock knows me for close to 40 years. Lawrence Moten, that guy, he played all 4 years in Syracuse. They made the tournament 3 times. His last game was against Arkansas. Arkansas made the finals. Arkansas was the defending champs, which we looked that up today. I couldn't remember that, but they lost to the Bruins that year, and Syracuse lost to Arkansas in overtime, and Lawrence Moen had called a timeout, giving them a technical foul when they had no timeouts left, therefore giving Arkansas the chance. I believe I thought it was to win the game, but it was to tie the game. Yeah, he did it. He did it.
Chris Webber.
He did a Chris Webber. Yeah.
Oh, we ain't gonna disrespect Chris Webber.
Nah, you don't disrespect Lawrence Moten, guys, because I'll kick you off. Don't play with me. He's from DeFreeze area. He was raised in the DC area from Washington DC. He played football and college basketball. He was a good football player, but he chose basketball, and he was a good quarterback, and I believe he was a good safety. And he could have played college football. He was going to go to Maryland, Sock, and I forgot who was on the Maryland team. Maryland had a monster. If he would have went to that team, Maryland could have went far. I forgot who was on Maryland that was a monster that year. But Jim Boeheim convinced him to come to Syracuse, and he had a great career. He is the all-time leading scorer in Syracuse basketball. He was the all-time Big East leading scorer until 2019, where this guy from Marquette broke it. So that record lasted a long time. But rest in peace to my guy Lawrence Moten. Poetry in Moten. That's what they used to say. Poetry in Moten. Lawrence Moten.
Yeah. With the high socks. That was his trademark.
Socks, yep.
The high socks, and yeah, man, he was easy buckets, man. He was just right 20 in the box score before the game started.
So, yeah, that's a big Yankee fan. That's my team. Sock doesn't mess with the Yankees.
I gotta give my last words before we shut this thing down. I gotta say this to Sock. Shout out to my brother Sock. Sock, man. I say this respectfully.
Hey, go ahead.
We want to interview with you, brother. You gotta pull up on
It'd be an honor.
You gotta pull up on BBO. I got boxing questions to ask you. So
it'd be an honor. Send the invite.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell BBO to get with TD because TD.
Yeah. Let me know the date, and then
TD,
we'll get talked there.
He don't fuck with me. He don't fuck with me.
You don't want to interview me? That's all good.
I interview. Well, anyway,
we'll set it up. But the do Sock's first. Sock's been around boxing for a long time. He's wrote articles. He's covered the sport in the media, and he's a coach. So
nah. Hey man, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have the conversations with y'all, man. For me even to be on the panel with y'all, man, it's special. I gotta say this though. I do have to say this, man. The greatest of all time from Syracuse, Melo. Melo is the greatest.
No.
Well, you can say whatever you want to say. TD, let me have my time. I ain't never been a Syracuse fan, but I've always been a Melo fan. Man, that's my guy. Shout out to Melo. The greatest from and I'll tell you, it's like I want your thoughts on this. I'm a UConn fan. I'm a Georgia nigga, right? But I love UConn. You know what I'm saying? UConn. My two favorite players from UConn. I want to hear your opinion on this. Rudy Gay and Khalil El-Amin. El-Amin is, I think he the fattest, greatest point guard that we've seen. Respectfully to him. But.
Well, that was the greatness of Calhoun. To get people if people don't know what UConn is in the fucking sticks. It's in the middle of like where the casinos are, with Foxwoods in Storrs, Connecticut. And he got Rudy Gay, who's from the DC area, I believe, right? Maryland.
Hey, one of the greatest.
El-Amin from Minnesota.
Facts.
I can't remember his last name. Robinson. He was on the championship team with my guy from the Bronx, Kemba Walker. So I mean, he would get players from all over, So I got a lot of love for UConn and Coach Calhoun.
Hey, me and you, we feel the same.
Top three coaches of all time.
I ever liked on UConn, and that was Kevin Freeman, because that was my cousin. That's the only person I rooted for.
I saw Kevin Freeman play in high school. I saw Kevin Freeman play in high school at Patterson Catholic.
Kevin Freeman,
I
he
was
graduated in like 94 or some shit.
He played with Tim Thomas in high school.
I graduated in '94.
I'm
Kevin
a
Freeman.
88 baby. I'm a 88 baby. I ain't graduated till 2006. So I ain't have a chance to watch these guys like that.
No, I rooted for Kevin Freeman all the way up until they played against Merlin, against Juan Dixon and Lonnie Braxton.
Hey, Juan Dixon was
Merlin,
that guy. Juan Dixon was
Merlin
one of
won
them
that
ones.
national championship. I was happy and sad at the same time. I was happy for Merlin, but I was sad for my cousin. Against my squad.
As a Syracuse fan growing up, I hated UConn. I hated UConn with a passion. But Ray Allen, nobody mentioned Ray Allen as one of the best UConn players. And Ray Allen was a
Well, I think he's the greatest UConn player.
yeah.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
He ain't man. Ray Allen wasn't ever better than Rudy Gay. He can
Get the
shoot
fuck
better.
out of here.
You crazy.
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, UConn.
Here we go.
Ray
Ray Allen was great.
Jesus Shuttlesworth?
He was great.
Get the fuck out of here.
Man, do you know what Rudy Gay can do on the court?
Yes, I know.
Rudy Gay played.
Ray Allen can do on the court.
And you might be right. Sock, you might be right. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I know I'm right. I know I'm right.
But
Ray Allen with the Jew point guard, Deron Sheffer. Man, get out of here, man.
I'm very biased. I'm very biased. Only reason I'm biased, as a basketball player myself, I fashioned my game after Rudy Gay and Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony first. Rudy Gay was second. That's who I fashioned my game after. So I got a special type of love for them guys. And hey, it is what it is. I understand. And like I said, you're probably right. But
Listen,
I'm gonna argue with you about it.
Daniel Marshall's another good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey,
Melo is probably close the best freshman I've ever seen. I mean, in my era, him and Allen Iverson probably the two best freshmen.
Well, what year you respectfully? What year you were born?
It was 77. So I started watching. I go back to 86 when Syracuse lost to Indiana.
I'm an 88 baby, so you're 11 years older than me. You know more about this shit than I ever be able to speak on. So
I love college basketball.
I'm bowing out of this conversation. I'm bowing out of it. Hey,
so real quick, just to segue to another sport. Dank Father wants to know. He's in shock. But Dank Father, before Sock answers this question, there's a lot of people from the Bronx that rock with Boston teams, and Sock will probably give you the answer right now.
Hey, real quick. Shout out to Rick Timms. Hey, Rick, I got the real peace sign up right now, my brother. I got the real peace sign up. Hey, if y'all don't know about the real peace sign, go check me and Rick out, man. Salute to my brother, man. Go ahead. I apologize.
So he wants to know how you from the Bronx and like Boston. What's the backstory? But so go ahead, Sock.
The real backstory. I like most kids, I rooted for the team that my dad liked. And why is my father a Red Sox fan? Because his team back in the Dominican Republic is called Los Escogidos, the chosen, the Lions. The city Escogido means chosen ones. Anyways, they wore a red uniform. So when my father came here in 1967, he gravitated to the Red Sox, and the Red Sox went to the World Series in '67 with Yastrzemski, and they lost to the Cardinals. And I rooted for the Red Sox ever since 1985. My dad took me to see the Yankees and the Red Sox. So I remember Dave Righetti pitched.
Okay. And the reason is there's a lot of, the Dominicans tend to.
Oh, I was a Red Sox fan before. I was the first Dominican.
Yeah.
I was second behind my dad.
A bunch of Dominican fans that are like close to our age that time were or maybe a little bit younger, like the Red Sox fans, because they had good, Dominican players. Like, Manny Ramirez is one that comes to mind off the top of my head. Pedro Martinez, and I know I'm missing a few others, but yeah, that's. So he's not the only Dominican guy that likes the Red Sox, but he gave his reason. But you didn't explain why you like the Celtics and the Bruins though.
Well, there's a lot of DR is is upset with the Red Sox because right now there aren't any Dominican players. It's, after they traded away Rafi Devers, but that's a different conversation. Why do I like the Celtics? I've always liked. I don't know. I guess just in the '80s, you got to pick one. I was always Larry Bird was my guy.
So, you ain't got to explain it. I'm a Georgia individual. I rock with Melo. I rock with Rudy. I'm a Cowboys fan. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It is,
Hey.
and the same reason. My dad, all my uncles, you know what I'm saying? They all rock with the Cowboys. So, and I grew up in a time being an '88 baby. I grew up in a time where the Cowboys were winning. So when I first figured out football, hell, the Cowboys was out there winning shit. So I done rock with them ever since. So I understand exactly where you at.
I ain't mad at you. All my pro teams I've always rooted for. I've never switched up on a pro team. College, especially nowadays, I was a big Hurricane fan growing up. But, I hit the portal and I fucks with Notre Dame.
He said I hit the portal. You heard him deep. He said I hit the portal.
I hit the portal. I hit the portal before it was cool.
You did.
I've been an Irish fan for like 25 years.
Yeah. But the Socrates I know from high school was a big time Canes fan.
Oh yeah, they lost to fucking Ohio State. I was like, get the fuck out of
here. Hey, hold on.
That game was fixed.
Thomas, I gotta ask you, Thomas, because you always do this. Last week, did you have Notre Dame winning that game before the game started?
Against Arkansas?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, Arkansas is not a good team. Notre Dame should be favored for the rest of the games this year. No, because we play two tough teams. Our schedule's not that strong. Notre Dame should be favored for the rest of the games this year.
They got Boise tomorrow, right?
We play USC. USC's not that good. They're supposed to win. They're supposed to win the rest of the games. Yeah. So
we better win against Boise. I know that much.
Yeah. Didn't Boise get smoked by somebody?
Yeah.
I think the best game. I think the best game of the weekend is Texas Tech and Houston.
That's going to be a good game. Yeah.
Undefeated. I like Texas Tech.
This is what you're going to see all day tomorrow. All day tomorrow. This is what you're going to see. Every time I go live, you're going to see Notre Dame up there. So you might as well take that daggone star and put a daggone
No, damn that. Hey, the real peace sign, man. The real peace sign. I gotta get my camera together. I gotta get it together. But that's the real peace sign. Shout out to my brother, man. Shout out to Rick Sims, man. That's the real peace sign right
take there. You need to take that star down and put a daggone eclipse up there because y'all team is going down.
Shout out to Angie, baby, man. Shout out to my sister.
Hey, Daniels is gonna play this week for Washington.
Well, we ain't worried about none of that.
Yeah. Don't lose to the Jets.
He trash anyways.
Don't lose to the Jets, Dub.
Hey, Dak Prescott is the MVP of the league right now. Y'all tell me I'm lying.
Oh my God. Jesus.
He's the MVP of the league right now.
I'm gonna tell you who the MVP of the league right now. The same person that won it last year. He's the MVP right now.
He's the front runner for sure.
Security.
The poster boy, the golden boy.
I'm just being honest.
We need security out here.
He's the MVP right now. He's the MVP right now.
Man, Dak Prescott is playing better than anybody you can name.
Oh God, help!
Hey, if CeeDee Lamb didn't have them alligator arms, they would have beat Philly.
That's true.
If our defense wasn't the worst in the league, we number 32 on defense right now. And Dak's still cooking out there. Dak's still cooking.
Do you know what Dak Prescott's stats is? He has 4 more yards than the person that's right behind him. But the person that's right behind him has 5 more touchdowns than him.
Who cares? Who cares?
Dub, it's going to be a long season. Just hope you got a winnable game this week. You play New Jersey.
We
You
not
play,
making the playoffs.
yeah, but you play in New Jersey against the Jets. You're gonna have a lot of Cowboy fans there.
Oh, they're gonna take that. Yeah.
It's gonna be like half Cowboy fans, half Jet fans. So that's a winnable game.
If they lose,
We not
to the Jets, we ain't gonna see Dub
we
all
not
week.
making the playoffs. Man, I'm gonna show up
If they
and show
lose
out,
to the
bro.
Jets, we ain't gonna see Dub all
Hold
week.
on. Why
Check
y'all
this out.
never
Wait,
seen
wait.
me duck
Can I-
smoke?
can I
Y'all ain't
pause
never
that for
seen
a
me
minute?
duck smoke.
Let
You
me
ain't
let me
never
pause
seen
y'all
me.
for a minute. When y'all did like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, when D Free and Dub were doing their football previews, didn't the both of y'all say that Seattle was only going to win 5 games this year?
We was out of order. We was
Yeah.
out of order.
How
And
many games?
hold on. Hey, free. I got us.
Hold on.
I got us, bro.
Hold
I
on,
got
hold
us.
on. Hold on.
Go ahead.
First of all, I didn't say you was going to win 5 games. I got it right here. Because I knew somebody was
Somebody
going to bring it
did. Somebody was crazy.
I don't think
Somebody said
we
5
said 5.
games.
I don't think we said 5.
I got y'all winning 6 games.
Okay.
What I had? Hold on, free. What I had?
You had them going 8 and 9.
8 and 9. I had
Who
8
said 5?
games.
Somebody said 5 games.
I said 8.
No, it wasn't. Nobody said 5 games. What you heard was Marky Dan and Hot Rod said y'all was going to win 4 and 13.
Motherfuckers, man. All right. I take it back. With 6 games, D Free, 6 games. We already got 3. You out of order, D Free.
Yeah, you got 3. You got to win 3 more before you can say you got to win 4 more before you can say D Free is out of order. You got to win 4 more.
Hold on, you done came at me though. I gave y'all 8 games. I gave y'all 8.
I swear to God, if I go to those videos and I hear somebody say 5 games, I'm clipping it. I could have sworn one of y'all said 5.
No. Free wrote it down. He wrote down all our predictions.
All right, I take it back. I take it back.
These are stuff right here.
6 games is disrespectful.
I got every game that we picked right here, and we got all the schedules, and I got every game. And then Dub had you at 8 and 9. I had you at 6 and 11. Marky Dan and Hot Rod had you at 4 and 13.
Wow, we're gonna beat the Bucks this week too.
All I'm saying is don't put that on my name. Just don't
No,
put it on
actually,
my
you
name.
know what? You know what? Y'all might win because Bucky Urban is out. We're
gonna fuck the Bucks
Hey
up,
man, don't put it on my name, TD. That's all I'm asking. Don't put it on my name.
8 and 9 is respectable.
Y'all might.
That game
y'all did lose.
Is in Seattle, right?
I think it's in Seattle.
Y'all did lose to the Niners, so it's not a given that y'all gonna win that game. Y'all did lose to the Niners.
There's no givens in the NFL. There's no gimmies. I'm sick of
that. True.
All I'm saying is just don't put it on my name.
That was head from a midget. D3.
Hey,
that was a low blow. It's a low blow.
The thing is, the reason I brought that up is because Seattle is not the strong home team anymore like they used to be. They used to be real strong at home. They ain't
what happened to the 12th man?
Well, this year is different. This year they playing better. Last year, yeah, the 12th man was dead. But
I ain't gonna lie.
The 12th man got COVID.
Sam Darnold.
Oh shit!
Sam Darnold.
Oh shit!
I think Sam Darnold. Man, that was a good pickup right there. That was a good pickup.
Well, we'll see what happens. But guys, and this was a great discussion on the Zuffa Boxing League or TKO League. Whatever they call it.
We got to interview, bro. We got to have you on. We got to interview you, brother.
Speaking of which,
I appreciate it. I love it.
I haven't forgot because Thomas told me that you picked the Raiders to beat us. You picked the Raiders to beat us.
Yeah.
Because you had, I guess, and I told Thomas, I said, he's banking on Marcus Mariota not being good. And I said, he must have forgot what Marcus Mariota did last year. When Marcus Mariota stepped in for Jaden Daniels. That man went 2-0 when he stepped in for Jaden
He's not a bum.
No, he's not.
He's a good player.
Gave up the game last week. I don't know. I hate when Joe Wick go into the zone. I'm like, dog, why are you going into the zone? You're just giving away yards. You got these men playing in zone, giving away yards. Every time you go to the zone, you give up big plays.
Hey, Troy Graham.
Lock them down.
Troy Graham, you saying the Ravens will be Super Bowl champions?
Hmm.
Is that in your season of John Madden this year? Because what are they 1-3 right now? And
They are.
Lamar is hurt. I don't know what's.
Lamar is out. Lamar's out.
Yeah, he's
So they
out
ain't
this
got
week. He
Lamar.
may be out next week too. And they're 1-3. Maybe you're talking about next year's Super Bowl champions. I don't see it this year, bro. Sorry to tell you.
It's funny.
They got their faith in Cooper Rush this week.
Maybe this is the year that this Baltimore has been one of the great franchises in the last 20 years. Maybe this is the year that they don't make the playoffs, and there's a time for a change. You know.
Yeah.
At the HC.
You got Lamar Jackson going to be out. You got Derrick Henry having fumbling problems, and your defense is historically bad. I don't see how y'all going to the Super Bowl.
Well,
yeah, it's going to be a long year.
I'm just going to tell you the worst
defense
defense
a long year for the Ravens.
The worst defense in the NFL right now is the Cowboys defense, and it ain't even close. It's not even close. We have the worst defense.
No, actually, y'all defense ain't the worst. Y'all the second worst because Cincinnati is worse than y'all.
Are they?
Yeah, they worse than y'all. Cincinnati defense is way worse.
Shout out to Dak Prescott for being Superman, because if it wasn't for Dak, we wouldn't have a chance out here. I'm just telling you the truth.
You a wild boy, Dub.
Do they miss Parsons?
Hell yeah, we miss. Well, hold on, wait a minute. So this is the craziest thing. This is the craziest thing. Sock. So I done argued for years, probably the last 2 or 3 years. I hate our run defense, right? I hated it. We got a good run defense. The problem is we can't stop nothing as far as the back end go. Anything down the field, we in trouble. And I'd rather for you just to get big chunk plays versus just running it down our throat. And I'd rather for you to just have chunk plays, because at least that he got time. I'll take that over the big. I'll take that over the run game. But I will say the one thing I love about the trade with Michael Parsons, we got Kenny Clark, and Kenny Clark.
He's been good.
If you look at it now, we're a top 5 run defense. The problem is we the worst pass defense in the league, the worst. And I think we will get better. I do think we will get better when we get healthy. I just don't know when we're gonna get healthy here. This coming week on the offensive line, we might be starting outside of Terrence Steele. Everybody else might be a replacement. I don't know who gonna play on the damn offensive line. They got so bad.
That Michael Parsons with the Green Bay, and he got about almost as many sacks by himself as your entire team got combined.
I agree.
Well, you're right on, Troy. It's only week 4. I mean, it's going to be tough. They got a backup playing this week, and Lamar may be out another week too. So, I mean, that's why we'll see what happens. It's a long season.
Yes.
There's a lot of parity in the NFL.
If Dak stay healthy, if Dak stay healthy, I bet he the league MVP.
This guy right here, we gotta close the show.
Pass that shit.
Yeah.
Pass that. Stop being greedy. Whatever you smoking, pass that.
Hey, stop
babysitting.
Pull up, so we can interview, because I got questions for you, my nigga. I got questions for you.
You said if Dak Prescott stay healthy, he's going to be MVP. That's what you said, Doug?
Absolutely.
All right, Tom. I think that's a.
Man,
I think that's enough.
Where's my golf clubs, man? I'm gonna have to kneecap these.
You want to play games? Okay. I'll play with you. Come on. Okay. You want to play with? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
You out of order, Dub. You out of order.
Hey, man, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And it's always good talking to Sport of Boxing with y'all. Man, brilliant minds up here. And y'all are some of the most brilliant minds that I could ever talk to. Hell, y'all know more about the sport than I could ever know. So love y'all and appreciate it, man.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
you, Dub, for coming up. Thank you, and thanks for the kind words. And guys, if you're watching, go over to Dub Right Side. He has a great channel as well. They have great boxing discussions as well. So go check them out. Sports Talk Network in the building. And any final words, D Free and Sock, before we sign off?
Let's go Fighting Irish.
Let's go
Let's,
Irish.
let's save the season.
Okay. We may go on live tomorrow. I don't think I could do 10 o'clock tomorrow,
Yeah,
Sock,
I'll
but
give y'all
maybe
ass whooped.
we do our football picks. We'll do our NFL football picks maybe sometime tomorrow night. Even
Hey,
if y'all get
Tomorrow
TD.
night, I'm unavailable.
okay, but maybe
Hey, TD,
I'll
TD.
text it to you if
yeah,
that, you know.
and I'll do a video. We'll go live. Do it. The only reason is, guys, is it's my daughter's birthday on Monday, and we're gonna celebrate Sunday. So I
TD,
won't
Awesome.
have
hold on,
much time.
TD, TD. I gotta say this. Let me make sure I'm accurate on what I'm about to say. But I believe me and you, we head to head right now as far as the
Oh, and
picks
this.
that we making. I
Oh yeah.
believe.
Oh, let me go to the standings. I believe we're both at first. I had a bad week last week. I knew I jinxed it by talking shit last week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were.
That
Yeah.
three. Oh, I got three. I done picked 3 games in a man, nigga.
6 in a row. I had 6 in a row, not for anything.
Respect.
But then I went 1-2 last week. I hit on the Monday night game. I hit the Broncos. But let me just pull up the app
Yeah,
and see who's
I'm
playing
tied for
well.
4th right now. I'm tied for 4th place.
Hey, me and TD, we tied for first. We tied for first.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
tell you
tied
right
for
now.
fourth.
I think you're.
I'm only 3 games back. I'm cool. I'm cool.
Where's Worm at? Worm still owe somebody money. Did he pay? Did he pay his money?
Oh man, I gotta hit him up. But yeah, week 4, Worm is doing his picks. He's third. He's 7. He's got 7 right. Me and you got 8, and that's through 4 weeks. So and D Free is 4th, tied for 4th with Sock, and I think that's my friend Malvin. Oh no, Malvin's got only 3. He probably stopped doing it.
Yeah,
He probably forgot to do it. Yeah,
him and BBO only got 3 wins.
yeah, because BBO keeps forgetting to do his picks. So,
Well, BVO,
but
BVO will be wrong anyway, so we ain't got no problem with that. He'll be wrong
Marky
anyway.
Dan and B3 only got 1 win.
But Marky Dan forgot to do his picks here. He's given his picks live, and he's done well. I wrote them down. He's actually done pretty good, Marky Dan. Not gonna lie. But we'll probably do it tomorrow. I got to see what time tomorrow we'll do it. But like Sunday is gonna be tough.
I got the Colts. I got the Eagles, and I got Dallas.
We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it.
I might have to change that Dallas pick. I might change that Dallas.
We staying away from your picks, man. We staying away from your picks.
I might have to change that Dallas pick. I don't know.
Hey, I never picked Dallas. Never.
I'll tell you what. I like the Giants this week.
I got the Giants. I got the Giants and I got the Colts. I don't know. I might have to change that Dallas pick. I might have to go with Tampa Bay.
You know what, D Free? That's why you've been losing. You keep picking against the Seahawks.
I would go with Buffalo, but they're playing against New England. That might be a close game. They got minus 8.5.
Bro, hold on, real quick. How good are the Jags? The Jags are 3-1 right now. How good are they?
I think they're gonna get smoked. I think the Chiefs are gonna smoke them.
This is what the Jags do every year. They start off good and then they fall apart. They do this every year.
Yeah. But let's talk about it tomorrow. I want to go to sleep.
Man, appreciate y'all.
I appreciate
dodgeball. I'm out.
All right, appreciate everybody that came through and showed love, and we'll be back most likely tomorrow. I just don't know what time. And I got a couple videos I've been trying to put out. I just got to edit and stuff. But they come out when they come out, man. You know, it is what it is. But thanks for everybody coming through. Sock, D Free, Dub Right Side. We'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow.